5 hours after the checkered flag fell in Las Vegas, the Formula One world stopped breathing. Lando Norris, second place, championship lead secure, or so we thought. Because in a sport where glory is measured in tenths of a second, McLaren's dreams just died in fractions of a millimeter. Both papaya cars, disqualified, stripped, erased from the results. A 42-point championship cushion, gone. Max Verstappen, back in the hunt. And the weapon that destroyed McLaren's season? A piece of wood thinner than a human hair. This is the story of how the smallest measurement in Formula One triggered the biggest championship earthquake of 2025. The Las Vegas Strip should have been McLaren's victory lap. Norris crossed the line in second. Piastri secured fourth. The championship math looked comfortable, safe, controlled. But as the champagne dried and the paddock began to empty, the FIA technical delegates made a discovery. Article 3.5.9 of the technical regulations, the floor plank, that wooden skid block running beneath every Formula One car, designed to prevent teams from running dangerously low to gain aerodynamic advantage. The rule is simple, brutal, unforgiving. The plank must measure at least 9 millimeters thick at the end of the race. Not 8.99 millimeters, not 8.95, 9 millimeters. McLaren's measurements: Norris's car, 888 millimeters. Piastri's car, 874 millimeters. A Mitutoyo micrometer, accurate to 0.001 millimeters, delivered the verdict with surgical precision. And in Formula One, there is no mercy for technical violations. No appeal, no second chances. Both cars, illegal. But that was just the beginning of the nightmare. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella was summoned. The FIA's technical director, Nicholas Tombazis, waited. The verdict was inevitable. McLaren's defense? The cars experienced unexpected porpoising, violent bouncing they hadn't seen in practice. The disrupted practice schedule, red flags, a loose drain cover that cost them crucial setup time. The stewards listened. They acknowledged the breach was unintentional, not a deliberate attempt to cheat. And then they disqualified both cars anyway, because here's the truth no one wants to hear. In Formula One's technical regulations, intent doesn't matter. Accidents don't matter. Explanations don't matter. The rulebook is binary, legal or illegal, compliant or disqualified. McLaren gambled. They pushed the boundaries to extract every fraction of performance from their cars on a bumpy street circuit. And the Las Vegas surface called their bluff. But here's where the story gets darker. During the race, Norris suddenly fell off the pace. Instructions came over the radio. Lift and coast. Aggressive fuel saving. Everyone assumed it was about providing the mandatory 1-liter fuel sample. Now, we know different. McLaren knew something was wrong. The car was bottoming out. Harder than their simulations predicted. Harder than physics should allow. The team had run just 13 and 12 laps in FP2 for Norris and Piastri, respectively. Neither driver completed a representative long run with heavy fuel. When FP3 came around, it was wet. Useless for race simulation, which meant the first time McLaren truly understood how their cars would behave over 50 laps was during the race itself. And by then, it was too late. The measurements tell the real story. The violations range from 0.04 millimeters to 0.26 millimeters below the legal minimum. Distances smaller than the thickness of several human hairs. In the hearing, Stella mentioned accidental damage to the floor. Damage that could have caused it to move differently under load, accelerating wear. The steward's response? We've heard this before. Doesn't matter. The car must be compliant at all times. McLaren pushed for maximum performance. They ran the car as low as the regulations theoretically allowed. And when the unpredictable happened, porpoising, bumps, the chaos of a street circuit, they had no safety margin left. This wasn't cheating. It was calculated risk-taking that backfired spectacularly. The championship standings transformed overnight. Before Vegas, Norris led by 42 points. The title seemed inevitable. After Vegas, Norris still has 390 points, but Verstappen and Piastri are now tied on 306, just 24 points behind. 18 points for Norris, 12 for Piastri, vanished, erased, as if they never existed. George Russell inherited second place. Kimi Antonelli scored his first F1 podium. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz moved up the order. But the real winner? Max Verstappen, The four-time champion who thrives on chaos just got handed a lifeline. A fifth consecutive title seemed impossible an hour after the race. Now it's within reach. 58 points remain across Qatar and Abu Dhabi. Qatar features a sprint race, 33 points available in a single weekend. If Verstappen dominates and Norris falters, the championship lead could flip in 7 days. This wasn't just a disqualification. It was a reset button pressed at the worst possible moment for McLaren, and the psychological damage? Immeasurable. Norris must now race knowing one more mistake, one more technical infringement, one more moment of bad luck could cost him everything. Meanwhile, Verstappen, a predator who senses weakness, is circling. So here's how this ends. Scenario 1. Norris holds his nerve. McLaren adds safety margins to their setup, sacrificing speed for compliance. He manages the 24-point lead across 2 weekends and finally claims the championship that's haunted him. The fairy tale ending. The redemption arc. Scenario 2. Verstappen unleashes hell. 33 points in Qatar. Back-to-back victories. Norris cracks under pressure. And by the time Abu Dhabi arrives, the championship is already decided. 5 consecutive titles. The legend grows. Scenario 3. The chaos multiplies. Piastri, written off, overlooked, suddenly revived, produces 2 perfect weekends. He capitalizes on the battle between his teammate and Verstappen. And in the most shocking outcome of all, Oscar Piastri becomes world champion in his 3rd season. The ultimate underdog story. 3 drivers, 2 races, 1 championship. And it all comes down to who can survive the pressure McLaren just created. Because here's what we still don't know. Will McLaren play it safe in Qatar and lose precious tenths to their rivals? Or will they push the limits again and risk another disqualification that would end everything? Did Verstappen just get the luckiest break of his career? Or is this the moment Red Bull has been waiting for all season? And the biggest question of all, when the checkered flag falls in Abu Dhabi, will we remember this as the moment McLaren lost the championship? Or the moment they proved champions are forged in adversity? One thing's certain, the 2025 season just became unmissable, and every millimeter from here on out will matter.